Hello, I just want to say a final word about prayer. Prayer is a self emptying love. I think it's God's purpose because He has come to us with such self emptying love. When Jesus hung on the cross for our sake, He emptied everything for us. He wants to draw us back into Him with the same self emptying love, that we're free of self centeredness and are centered rather on Him. Because the heart, it can't be filled with God if it's filled with earth. So we have to have all the earthiness, as it were, taken out of the heart and to make space for God. So He wants to fill us with His love for sure, to an overwhelming way. But we need to make space for God's love to penetrate us deeply. That's why there has to be an emptying of ourselves. In the beginning of prayer, of course, we have to try to do that emptying by our own efforts. So we seek to break the power of the flesh that's driving us, and we seek to sort of break all patterns of sin. We work hard at changing ourselves into the likeness of the Lord under His grace, but we're doing a lot of it ourselves. But what becomes blatantly clear after a while is that it's actually not possible for us to make the change. Ultimately, only God can do the deeper work in us that needs to happen. And so this purifying work of God takes place at a deeper level in the heart than we can actually reach ourselves. And that's why our prayer, while at first it's really active and dynamic and we're working hard at it, we have to sort of force things. But after a while, it becomes quieter and more passive as we're just allowing the Lord, with His laser beam of love, as it were, to purify us deep within. You know how sometimes surgery is so deep that they have to use a laser beam to get right in there to burn out the impurity, whatever it is, the particular problem. And that's the same with our hearts, right? In the spiritual way, that God has a laser beam and He works on us as He just settles us in prayer in the quiet, and it can be quite dry and arid prayer, but He's actually working deep in the heart to clean us, as it were, of all the impurities. So our heart will be really pure before Him. And that's a lifetime's work. So He does it certainly by an interior aridity. We can sort of have a dryness within ourselves and feel, oh gosh, all the lights have gone out and nothing's happening here. Don't freak out at that moment. That's a moment that could very well be the moment when the Lord is starting to go this deeper length into your soul, to go a deeper place into you, to bring this effect that only He can bring. So don't panic. Because God's love, it will be infused into your soul in a new way and burn out these impurities, right? And the other thing that He does, He allows for those who are growing in the spiritual life, He allows unexpected calamities to happen. He allows us to sort of go through exterior adversity. And things can happen in our lives that shake us up like nothing. But again, it's so that we'll be empty of any selfishness and we'll know that we totally depend upon Him. We go to a deeper place of yes and surrender to Him in the midst of that suffering. That sort of tends to happen that way. So He's purifying our love. That's what He's trying to do. So it's so that we'll depend on nothing else but on God. They'll have nothing else before God. No creative reality, no matter how good it is, even in sort of a spiritual thought or a particular prayer we like or anything, a particular devotion, all those things we let go of. So in the emptiness of our soul, God can fill us, and it's He alone who we belong to. The Lord wants us for Himself, and He wants us completely for Himself, with no props, no securities, only Him as our security. To love God in naked faith, that's the point. And so God is always pressing in to our hearts with a deeper love and seeking to empty us out, as it were, of things that will hinder us being truly possessed by him. And then we allow him to possess us totally. That's the aim of the whole thing, is that God in his goodness and his mercy wants you for himself. And he doesn't want any other thing there between you and him. And not even a good thing, because he wants you. And so we allow that purifying work to take place. And it can be quite excruciating at times as you allow this to happen. But God's at work. So don't be afraid when you go into darkness. Don't be afraid when the darkness of faith assails you. Don't be afraid when you find the dryness of the desert. That can actually be the place where God is doing this deeper work in you to bring you into a deeper place with him. And let's be surrendered to God in all things. Bless his name.